Welcome to the Living the Dream podcast with Curveball. If you believe, you can achieve. Based in New York City, she is also a social media manager who does freelance work. She blogs and creates content on the side. So we're going to be talking to her about how she got started and let her spread her knowledge about social media, because as podcasters, we use social media a lot as well as other content creators. So we're going to let her spread her knowledge. Caitlin, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
Why don't you start off by telling everybody a little bit of background about yourself and how you got started?
Oh yeah, so I am living in New York City right now. Currently, I'm a beauty editor for the website All Things Hair, which is Unilever's branded content website that focuses on giving like hair tutorials, advice, and different tips for all different hair types using all of Unilever's hair care brands like Tresemme, Dove, Suave, Love Beauty Planet, Shea Moisture. And I got started actually in college. I went to school for fashion merchandising and communications. And then I moved to New York after I graduated. And I just knew when I was a junior in college, I realized that I wanted to go into the journalism, social media route for my career. And after I graduated, like I said, I moved to New York, and I just kept going after that goal and applied to jobs and ended up at All Things Hair.
So All Things Hair, when you say hair tutorials, do they kind of give you tutorials on how to apply products and how to do different things with hair? And also the magazine that you're at with the hair, did you do this because you do hair, or are you a beautician on the side, or is it just something that you like to do?
Yeah, so All Things Hair, we have our articles on the website at allthingshair.com, and then also on YouTube and Instagram. There are tutorials for all different hair types, from natural hair to fine and straight hair and wavy hair. And yeah, we show things like how to achieve certain trendy hairstyles, but also how to use products and how to make hair care routines that work for your hair type. And I got into hair actually. I've always had an interest in beauty. Ever since I was in high school, I was always interested in different learning different makeup looks and trying different hairstyles. And I was interested in fashion too. So I knew that beauty industry, the beauty route, was something I really did want to pursue. And yeah, I've always liked hair. I love learning more about it, learning new hairstyles, and just the way different products work, and seeing how products have changed over the years.
Well, in your bio, it says not only do you have a passion for beauty and fashion, also Disney. So tell us about that Disney passion.
Yeah, so I'm a big Disney fan. I actually did the Disney college program the year after I graduated college. So back in 2017, 2018, it feels so long ago now. Yeah, I did the Disney college program where I got to work at Disney World for about a year. I worked in merchandise retail there, and it was a really fun experience getting to meet so many people from around the world and work with so many different kinds of people. And it made me really like the company there a lot, to see how everything worked. And yeah, I just think it's so interesting. I've always liked Disney ever since I was a kid. So getting to work there, it was really fun experience. And it's always fun too, just to see what new stuff they have planned. I'm actually going back in November, and they have the new Star Wars and a new ride in Epcot opening. So I'm excited to see what that's all like.
So it's one thing to be into writing for a magazine and being an editor, but how did you get started into social media?
I got started into social media when I was like a sophomore, junior in college. I've always like ever since like high school, I was just like on it for fun, playing around like on the different apps. And then I think like when I was in college, it started becoming like an actual job that people did. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. People are like actually like I never realized until college that was actually like something you could do as your job. And then when I started learning more about it from like the marketing perspective, it was really interesting to see just learning about different ways that like different strategies for social media and like everything that goes in on like the behind the scenes that I feel like a lot of people don't really realize when you're just like scrolling through an Instagram page. So yeah, I got an internship in college at a website called New York Girl Style. And I was able to help out with their Instagram and Facebook there and learn more about what actually goes into it. And then also, I did another internship in college at like a boutique in my college town. And I got to help out with like their marketing and social media too. Yeah, so just getting experience in college, I think, was really beneficial for me. Learning more about like the behind the scenes and getting like the hands-on experience. So then I was able to actually like apply that and learn more while doing it at All Things Hair.
Well, tell us about some of the behind the scenes in social media that people don't see. Give us content creators some tips and behind the scenes so we can be more visible on social media.
I feel some behind the scenes things. I feel like a lot of people don't really realize how much editing, how long like it can actually take sometimes. I know now with like TikTok being so popular and like reels and like they're short little like 30-second videos that people watch and you're like, oh, that must take like no time to make. But I made some where it could easily take you like over an hour to edit this 30-second video and just filming the different clips and putting them together. I feel like people don't always realize how long that can take. And also to just on like a brand perspective and even like certain content creators too, knowing like the strategics of like, oh, I'm posting like there's always like an intent behind the post for a lot of brands. They're always like there's always like a strategy behind it. It's never like just randomly like, oh, I'm gonna post this photo today. There's always like a why, and whether it's like from a certain trend or just based on your demographic and your market, knowing that it's like something they would like.
Tell us some of the best strategies, social media strategies that you found for content creators.
I found that posting consistently is really beneficial. I know sometimes depending on what everyone does for work and like how serious they actually are with their social media, it can be a little challenging to keep up with it consistently. But I think making sure to post like at least once a day and even like multiple times a day is great when you're newer trying to like make your account more discoverable. That's really important. And utilizing hashtags too. I feel like for a while when social media first got big, like Instagram especially, everyone was doing hashtags. And then I think they kind of like died off a little bit. But I'd say over like the last year, there's kind of been like a more resurgence of people realizing like how important and how much of an impact they can have on your post. So using hashtags, and I've found that I think they're saying it's like 8 to 15 hashtags now is like ideal for your post because you don't want too many but then you want to make sure you have enough where you're like hitting those niche topics. You want like your hashtags to go with whatever niche your account is about. And I've noticed too with social media, I feel like there's been a big trend of just being more like relaxed and not so like put together. And I think TikTok has had a big role in that, where people just want to see like real people. They don't want to see someone that looks like perfect 24/7 and is like super highly edited. I think just like being able to connect with real people and relate to other people, whether it's like other girls your age or just other creators in your niche, I think that's also something that has been really important.
Well, let's talk about those hashtags. How can a content creator make sure that they're doing the right hashtags for what they're trying to do? Like, for example, my podcast, if I'm posting on Instagram, how do I do the research to make sure that I get the right hashtags?
I would, a lot of times what I do for hashtag research is going on Instagram, and when you're in the search bar, you go to like the hashtag option, and then you can just type in different hashtags that are about your topic. So say I'm doing a post about like a hairstyle. I'm doing a post about like a French braided hairstyle. I would type in maybe like French braid into the search bar, and then it'll come up showing the different hashtags that use that word. And then it will actually give you like how many posts are in that category. And I'd say it's good to use around 3 to 5 that have numbers in like the millions or even like billions, because that will make your posts like you'll be in like a lot of posts and like a lot more people are usually using that hashtag. But then it's also good to use some hashtags that have more like the 10,000 to 15,000 range for posts, because that way your post won't disappear as quickly. If someone's looking through that hashtag, you're more likely to stay at the top longer and pop up longer than having like a hashtag where your post becomes like pushed down in like seconds. And I also look to see what people in my like field and like niche are hashtagging too. I found that's really helpful for connecting with people. If there's like a certain community you want to reach out to, or a certain community you want to like become more involved in on Instagram, looking to see what hashtags those creators are using, and also using those too. I found are good.
Well, I know I heard yesterday that the owner of Instagram was saying that photos are not really as relevant as videos when you're posting on Instagram. What have you found out about that? Is it still good to post photos, or should you do more like video clips?
Yeah, no, I was surprised when I heard that, because like Instagram started as a photo app, and I feel like so many people still think of it as sharing photos. But yeah, I definitely think if you're like not, if you have an account that you're working on growing, I think it's so important definitely to utilize Reels and IGTV. I've definitely seen that video has been making a really big impact on various accounts. I've heard the Instagram algorithm. I know that Instagram has like, I think it was, they have at least 3 different algorithms. It's not like one set in stone one that they have, but I did hear at one point that they were kind of like favoring accounts that were posting reels, kind of making those accounts more discoverable on the explore page. And I think reels too is just a fun way. It hooks your audience in more. People are more likely to watch like a 15-second video now than just like, it's so easy to just like scroll through a photo post in your feed. So I think videos are definitely very important to use. But I think it also still is really important to use photos. I know especially it kind of depends on what your account is about, but I think they're still really great. You can show your audience different, like whether you're doing like a hair tutorial or like showing off like a certain makeup look. Photos are really important, and they're also a good way to like connect with your audience. And I've heard recently that since photos it's been harder. A lot of people have been losing engagement when posting like just photos on their account. Doing carousel posts is really good for raising that engagement on your post, because when you have multiple slides in the post, people are going to stay on it longer and swipe through, which will make your engagement higher versus if they just look at your photo for like 2 seconds real quick and scroll by.
The tips that you're giving for Instagram, do they apply for all of the other social medias, or do you have any other different tips for any other social media platforms?
I'd say those are pretty much just for Instagram, but I think you can apply them to a lot. I know especially with TikTok, I know I find myself on that app probably the most out of all social media apps right now. And I know that's been one of the most popular ones lately. And I think with TikTok, it's really important, honestly, just to like be yourself on the app. I think that people just want, like what I said before, like to connect with like real people. You don't have to worry about being too like perfect and put together. And I think that's what has made TikTok like so big. And I think it's really good. You want to try to hook your viewer in to like your TikTok or reel, or even if it's like a video on Facebook that you post. You want to try to hook them within 3 seconds, because they're more likely to watch the rest of the video when you do that. And I've noticed too on Twitter that it's so important to like stay up to date on like the current trends. I've seen like a big trend of like different companies are really kind of on Twitter too, yeah, being like more relaxed and showing like more of a sense of humor and kind of like making it feel more personable than just like, oh, I'm a brand trying to sell you like, here's like an ad for this product. They're trying to make it more like personable and like stay on top of those trends, whether it's like a meme that they twist to fit their account or just like interacting with followers and replying back with like little like funny or witty tweets.
Well, tell us about the freelance content that you create and any ongoing projects or upcoming projects that you're working on that people need to know about.
Oh yeah, so I freelance for this website called WDW Magazine. I write articles on their blog every so often, and that's a website that's all about Disney World. It's not run like directly by Disney, but it's you have like a kind of like a partnership with them. And I write about like Disney style, like more fashion, and then I also write about like a wide variety. I've written about how to achieve different Disney like recipes at home. I did that like during quarantine, which was fun. And yeah, also like listicle articles about hotels, like a big variety of stuff. And then I'm doing a collaboration with this beauty brand on Instagram called C'est Moi. I have a video with some of their products coming up, which I'm excited about.
Go ahead and throw out that contact information. Give out your social media links, any websites. That way people can stay connected with you and learn about all things social media.
Oh yeah. My Instagram is Caitlin, CAITLIN _and13. My TikTok is Caitlin Reddington. And yeah, those are the two platforms I'm the most active on. And then also, if you want to check out any of like my articles on all things hair, you can go to allthingshair.com.
You got any final thoughts before we close it out on social media, SEO, any advice that you can give content creators that we haven't discussed yet?
I'd say the biggest advice would just to be make sure whatever you choose to post about, you're passionate about it and you truly enjoy creating the content that you are doing, because I feel like your audience can definitely tell when you truly like enjoy what you're talking about and what you're showing versus if you're doing it just to get views or hoping to make money someday. I'd say, yeah, just stick to what really makes you happy and just stay true to yourself. I think they're a little cliche, but I think that's definitely really important when when working as a content creator.
Since I am a content creator, I would like to ask you to follow, rate, review, share this all over your social media. Android listeners, go to the Google Play Store and download the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast app. Caitlin, I want to thank you so much for joining me and sharing your knowledge to help out content creators. Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Go to the Google Play Store and download the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast app. Caitlin, I want to thank you so much for joining me and sharing your knowledge to help out content creators. Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
For more information on the Living the Dream podcast, visit www.djcurveball.com. Until next time, stay focused on living the dream.